It's Sal. Thank you so much for joining me today and for this free tarot seminar. And thank you so much for your patience last week. As many of you know, I was meant to do this last week and there was construction on and I couldn't do it. And now, hilariously, there's still construction on, but you can't hear it as badly, I hope. So if there are suddenly some jackhammer noises out the back, that's what's going on. I'm very excited to be here with you today because I've got so much to share with you about how to improve your tarot card readings, as well as some exciting new news to improve this group for you, and some exciting new news to further your tarot skills and adventures. So I'd love to see who's here with me today. Hi Nick, how are you? Just pop your name in and where you're from, and I can just comment. If you are watching this as the replay, you can just put hashtag replay. And usually those of you who have been here before, the way I like to roll with this is I share some really prominent questions that have appeared either in the Udemy Q&A or that have been sent to me during the month, and I share some great solutions for them for you to apply to your tarot reading. And if you've got any other questions, you can actually just post them and I'll get to them towards the end. So if you suddenly think, oh Sal, I've always wanted to ask you this, just you can pop it in there as long as it's related to the tarot. So again, I'd love to see who's here, pop it in. As people are popping that in, I just want to say a very big thank you and a big mwah to everyone who has posted reviews for Tarot Card Success in the past couple of months. So I went and had a little look this morning. I tend to look in once a week and just see, and thank you so much. It means so much for me that you have taken the time to not only rate the course, but actually put some comments in as well. So thank you to Vasali, I'm saying that right, Ranjith, Adriana, Michelle Rushton, Mantripped, and everyone else who took the time to do that this month. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. So Pira, hello. Hello Keith from Phoenix. Hello Adriana, thank you for your review. I was just thanking you. I just read it. Thank you so much. It was beautiful. Thank you Courtney from VA Beach. I assume that's Virginia Beach. Hi Penny from beautiful Canada. What part of Canada are you from, Penny? My sister lives in Vancouver. It's such a beautiful place. So thank you everyone. I'm going to get started now. I'm very excited, and as I said, if you've got some questions, just pop them in as you go. So today we're going to look at health readings and should you do them, and if you are going to do them, the best methods and approaches to go about it. We're going to also look at using the tarot and oracle combined and how you can do that. We've got like a very basic sort of couple of steps. I'm also going to look at the question I often get asked when people start looking at psychic development courses, in particular my psychic development courses, so courses that I do other than Tarot Card Success, like how to be psychic and psychic readings intermediate level. Because I talk about spirit guides and angels, and people often say, well, I'm not a Christian, can I do these courses? So I just want to assure you that you can, and that you can connect with your own gods and goddesses whenever you're doing any kind of spiritual work or connecting with the psychic realms. Hi, you're from Toronto, awesome. Hi Amy, I hope Amy's the right way to say it, from the Dominican Republic. I'm so glad you're loving this. So I'm also going to look at using like the new system I want to use in this group. We are now a massive group, and I am so proud of all of you being in here. We're now at nearly 6,000 people, which is huge. So I'm bringing in a couple of new little guidelines to make it easier for those people who are offering free readings in here, to make sure that everyone gets their system honoured, that time is gracefully honoured by everyone. Hello Kelly from Colorado and Alberta, Canada. Karina, one day I will share the experience of a 48-hour journey from Jasper to Vancouver, all through Alberta after a couple of landslides that I went through a few years ago with my sister. So I feel like I know Alberta really well now. And it's a very beautiful country, very beautiful country. I'm also going to talk about your certificates, so your Sal Jade certificates and how you can get them. I know people haven't always been aware. This has only been a new thing I've introduced, so I'm going to talk about that as well. So I'm going to get started. Oh, and I'm going to talk about when. The most famous question I get asked again and again and again, when and how to find time frames. So let's begin. Now, just make sure everything's all set up. Cool. So Salvina asked the brilliant question of, should I do health readings? Now, the first thing I'll say, and this is just from my 11 years of of being a professional reader myself, but also having managed readers as well, is that it's actually a personal choice for everybody. There's no right or wrong. Like if a client comes to you and they want a health reading and you don't feel comfortable doing it, then you are in control of the session and you are well within your rights to say, look, I'm sorry, I don't do health readings. It's not what I do. It's not how I roll. And that's totally okay. Now, yes, you might come across some clients who get a bit offended or a bit pushy but that's their choice. You don't have to take that on. Health readings for me are something that are much more advanced, and I do suggest that you feel very, very comfortable with doing tarot readings in all other subjects before you start dancing with health readings. And that's for the simple reason is that you're not a doctor. I know a few people commented on this earlier in response to Salvina, and they say, look, in America they choose not to do readings for health because it is a very litigious issue. You can get sued for that. So you need to make sure if you decide to do health readings that you do make sure you're a little bit protected. So I do offer a course on Udemy called Master Health Readings and Psychic Wellness, and it does teach you how to use health readings with your intuition and also how to use them with tarot cards and how to use them with oracle cards. And it has pregnancy related as well. So if you're looking at answering, when will I get pregnant, that kind of stuff, as well as a big massive section on protecting yourself psychically if you're going to do a lot of readings. So a lot of people often say to me, oh, I've done 10 readings and I feel so drained and exhausted. So I do recommend looking at that because it's got lots of different suggestions about how to stop yourself burning out if you're doing lots of readings. And it is a more intermediate, higher level course. Like it does require that you have done this course first because, as I said, you're looking at having to offer people legal disclaimers. Like you're going to have to say on your website or when you interact with them, I'm not a doctor, I can't offer you medical advice. However, I can intuitively or with the cards see if a problem's coming up. So for me, it's always been a dance between the tarot. So if I can see, if someone asks me about their health, I know there are certain cards that refer to problems in their health or certain cards that I can connect to certain things. It's usually my intuition that will tell me what that is. So there is no tarot card for you're going to have a thyroid problem. Like there's no tarot card for that. But my intuition could see something going on and a problem in, like I could see a negative card. So what I do in those situations is I say, okay, I feel like you need to go and see a doctor. Okay, and that is the blanket thing I will say to anyone if you're going to offer health readings, regardless if you decide to do my course. I mean, my course it's nearly 6 hours long. That's how detailed it is to learn about health readings. But if you're going to do them, then if you see something problematic, then you would need to say, please go and talk to your doctor. I don't want you to worry. I don't want you to freak out, but please go and see your doctor. And the reason being, I love to share this story. Many years ago when I first started doing readings, before I became professional, I read the very wonderful The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy. He wrote this in the 70s. And he told this story about an American man who was very healthy and went to India on a traveling adventure and went and saw an Indian psychic. And the psychic said to him, oh my goodness, you're going to have a heart attack and you're going to die. Now, this man had no history of heart disease. He was very healthy and he was relatively young. And then what happened? He went back to America and he worried and he fretted and he stressed and he lost sleep and he freaked out all the time. And eventually he had a heart attack. And so again, who knows if that was always going to be the path, but you just don't want to be putting ideas like that in your client's head. So health readings need to be dealt with a lot of discretion. I do recommend if you're really excited about health readings, also maybe consider doing some other kind of health modality like Reiki or pranic healing or theta healing or something else to reinforce that intuitive side of looking at health as well. But blanket thing, if you feel uncomfortable and someone, even in this group, says to you, oh, what do I need to know about my health or my mother's health, or you need to say, look, I'm a beginner and I'm not comfortable with this, or I don't do health readings, I'm sorry. I can recommend someone else, or I can look out for someone for you and do it that way. Or, as I said, you can look at doing my health readings course and start to gently practice and just become familiar with the legal disclaimers that you always need to offer when you're offering any kind of intuitive health advice. So I hope that has helped understanding a bit more about health readings. Yes, there are tarot cards that can relate to how you look at health readings and how things are going to come out. It is very complicated. It's not black and white. There is no one card that says you're going to have a heart attack or you've got heart problems, look out, stop eating red meat. Cards like that don't exist in the tarot. But there can be, ways that you can connect the meanings with the readings and health and how to heal and to move on and to make sure that that doesn't get too troublesome for people. So I hope that has helped my loves in understanding health readings. Hello, everyone else who shopped up. We've got Judith from Colorado. Lorraine, hi Alexis. Hello, Nui, you just asked that question and I'm going to answer your question, Nui. I hope I'm saying your name correctly, Nui Gamro. So I'm going to move on now to probably the most popular question I ever get asked, and I'm getting asked it even more in this time of deep uncertainty that is COVID and our existence in COVID, and that is when. People coming to you and they want to know, when am I going to get a job? People coming to you, they want to know, when am I going to get married? How to do time frames in the tarot. So the first thing I always say with this is you need to keep in mind, like this is just a base level. The tarot was never intended, in its modern formation anyway, for telling when in specific terms. Like there is no tarot card that says October the 31st. There is no tarot card that even says October. So keep that in mind when Rider-Waite and Thoth, Aleister Crowley, who created the Thoth deck, when they created those decks, they didn't intend people to come and ask them, like, will I get a job in the next week? Like, when will I get married? Like, that wasn't the intention. The intention is to find what is standing in your way from getting what you want. Like, that's what tarot is for. Now, of course, you still might say, yeah, I get that, Sal, thanks. But how do I get time? I'm still getting lots of people that want to know time. First of all, time is very strongly based on intuition. So I'll just give you a sample of what happens when a client comes to me and they say to me, Sal, when am I going to get married? Or when am I going to get a job? Or when is my life going to improve? That kind of thing. And again, because there's no card that says the 31st of December, I have to first of all give a reading, as I've taught you in this course, on the basic level. And I look and see within the Celtic cross or within the horseshoe, I look and see about what the general picture is. So is generally there going to be some kind of change or improvement in the next 3 months? So if someone says, for example, when will I get a job? And I always, as those of you who know me well, say I rephrase that, what do I need to know about to get a job? And I get a 6 of Wands, for example, in the next 3 months, in the recent future position. That suggests to me that in the next 3 months, something good's going to happen and they're going to get something that they want. If I get a page, for example, always pages can suggest good news. So I think in the next few months, yes, you're going to get some good news that's going to really, that's going to push your career forward. If it's a Pentacles or, if it's a Cups especially, those ones, it means, yes, you're going to get something that's good news, that's coming forward for you, that's going to move you and out of this situation. An ace always means new beginnings. So yeah, new job can be coming in with an ace. So wherever the position is, whether it's the near future or the long-term future, you can see certain cards represent victory. Certain cards represent affirmations of yes. Now, where it gets tricky and why, as I said, on a beginner's level, I don't suggest when. I think you can start going into that more deeper as you get better practiced. It gets tricky because our lives are just so infinitely complex. So when I created my most recent course, which is Love Readings, Give Love Readings with Ease, this is like 7 hours on answering questions of when will I get married? When will I meet my soulmate? When? And because I know my whole career I've had these questions and I've had to help my clients with this. So the first thing that I say with my clients straight away is let's look at what you need to know about getting married in the next year. Let's start with that. Let's give it a time frame. And if something shows up like a marriage card, like Justice or the 4 of Wands, then I go, look, it feels like there's a wedding on the cards. Okay. So you can do it that way. Or you can just do a general, what do I need to know about getting married? Because the interesting thing when people ask that is they might not even be ready to get married. And so if you start reading marriage for them in the next 3 months, then they're going to be like, I'm not even seeing anyone. How am I going to get married? And the other thing I want you to consider and remember that you are not just a reader, you are a healer. Like, you are someone who is responsible for somebody else's emotions and feelings when you are communicating intuitive guidance and the tarot's spiritual wisdom to them. Imagine you are a 24-year-old young woman and you go and see a tarot reader and you sit opposite them or you do it on Zoom or on the phone, and you have got a lot of pressure from your family, a lot of your friends are getting married, and you say to a tarot reader, when am I getting married? And she looks at the cards, nothing's showing up, so she tunes in a little bit and she goes, I feel like it's between 39 and 41. And suddenly you've got this young girl going, I'm going to get married in 18 years' time? And you can feel she's probably going to go, first of all, will I even have children? Will it be too late? Oh my God, all my children are going to be too young to play with my best friends and my cousin's children because they're all having kids now. She's going to go on a whole spiel and it's not going to be helpful. So what you do is you go, what do I need to know about getting married? Like, if someone really wants to get married, what's standing in their way and stopping them? What are the blocks? What needs to be moved out of the way? And that's how you treat the tarot and time. Now, if you're still obsessed with it, if you're still like, sorry, Sal, not good enough, and then what I can recommend is go, intuition is your best game changer, okay? It's not learning the tarot, it's a combination of intuition. So I remember over the years I've had people say to me, but I went to this tarot reader and they said that, in March I'd get a new job, and I go, yeah, that's intuition. So I do recommend, I do have How to Be Psychic Development for Beginners, which teaches you to connect with your guides and angels so that you can get all your gods and your goddesses, ascended masters. So it teaches you how to connect with higher beings and spirit guides so that you get those messages, so you hear them. So you do a guided meditation where you ask questions and you get that back. And the more you practice that, the better that comes through in your readings. And taking it that extra step further, psychic readings intermediate level, I really challenge you to strengthen your clairvoyance and your clairaudience, so your messages. And also I provide lots of different alternatives in oracle cards and other ways of how to look at time frames and when as well. So if you're still really feeling like you want to dig deep into time, then focus on your intuition and keep practicing the tarot cards, and perhaps look at doing courses that will make your intuition and your connection with your guides better. And that way, when someone comes to you and says, when will I get married, or what do I need to know about getting married, you can intuitively get a better feel. When will I get a job? Feels like February. And again, that way you get a bit more specific with them. And it's a feeling, it's an intuitive thing, but it doesn't always necessarily come from the explanations of the tarot. So I hope that has helped, my love. Start with the basics in this course of general time frames. So in the next few months, in 6 months, that kind of very, very soon. And then if you want to go more advanced, maybe looking into doing How to Be Psychic or psychic readings intermediate level. Shannon, how much do we trust with what message is coming through? Well, that's what happens with practice. And I know it's a hard one. If you feel you have blocks with that one, I do recommend, I do have a course just dedicated to that. It's called Boost Your Psychic Gifts with EFT Tapping, where you actually give yourself a healing and you calm down. I use this process every time before I do a reading, because even after all these years, I can still get nervous. Like, that doesn't go away. I'm confident and I feel like, no, I trust myself. I trust what my guides are saying, but sometimes I'll hit a roadblock and I'll be like, oh my goodness, what's that card mean? What does it mean? Like, they're asking this question and I don't get it. And so I kind of go in and I say, guides, give me more information. And because I practice doing that, it comes through and I share that with them. So practice as much as possible. Thank you, Crystal. Are you in a green room? No. That's a great question, Crystal. I'm actually, so right now, because of COVID, I was meant to go to Bali and record a course with the wonderful Sharon Ramel, who is another instructor on Udemy. And sadly, we couldn't go to Bali. And so I've decided to come to North Queensland as well. And I'm actually just staying in an Airbnb right now. So that's actually just the backyard. That's glass. But it probably looks like I'm in the lounge room right now. Hello, Adriana from Texas. Oh, Kenya. Hello, beautiful Kenya. How are you? Kenya was one of my early students a few years ago for the 10-week advanced tarot program. I've recently started reading Joseph Murphy's book, Good on You. Hello, Alexis. Hi. Thank you. Samantha, you got 5 of my courses today. The top 2 you're already doing great. There's a great sale on today. There we go, guys. There's a sale on my courses today. Thank you for mentioning that, Samantha, because once upon a time, Udemy ran frequent sales and now they hardly run them anymore. So if you see a Udemy sale, please grab them because they don't always go on sale. They're often at full price now, more often than not. And also I send out sales once a month too. And you can also always go to my Facebook page, which is Sal Jade Clairvoyant Healer, and you'll see where it says services. Click on that and all my courses are there if you ever want to know the sales. Okay, so I hope that has helped. Pia, I can't add in your country name as well. I'm not sure about that. You have to talk to Kathy about that because she creates my certificates. But yeah, so just maybe email me about that one, sweetie, because I'm not quite sure how that one's going to work. Because the certificates are just a template and she adds your name. And see, I can't put your country because I didn't teach you in India, if that makes sense. I taught you globally. So yeah, give me a email at sal@saljade.com if you're a bit confused about that. So I hope that has helped everyone with when. I know it's frustrating and I wish there was a better answer, but as I said, I'm only trying to stop you from getting yourself in situations where you feel like, okay, someone just said, when will I get married? And I can see a wedding coming up in this card in 3 months' time and this person's single. So, and also my biggest problem with the when is that you don't allow your clients or yourself to have very human experiences. Because you can imagine that girl that I just spoke about, that young woman, she's 24 years old, she's been told she's not getting married for 18 years. A, she's probably going to go get a bit depressed if she really wants to get married now. B, she might start dating someone next week and be thinking, is this guy going to take 17 years to propose to me? Or am I wasting my time with this guy? You know, what am I doing? You know, so I'm not getting married for 18 years. Maybe I shouldn't even try. So when I would avoid them, I would just say, what do I need to know about getting married and see what comes up. Okay, so now Shannon's just asked the question that someone recently asked and I'm going, I think it was, who asked this? I can't remember. Sorry. How to use tarot with Oracle. Now, I have a whole program where I go into this much deeply. That's my 3-month VIP program, my advanced tarot program that's on the Psychic Healing Academy. So if you're interested in that, that's my psychic business training and how to run an online psychic business and how to do more advanced tarot stuff like numerology and symbology and mythology and how to go into more on astrology and things like that, as well as clairvoyant healing with the tarot, so how to give healings using tarot and advanced channeling. But I'll give you some basics now, Shannon. So for me, there's no right or wrong. It's very intuitive. I will often use oracle cards to finish off a reading. So I feel like what will happen for me, someone comes for a reading or they're doing an online reading and I do the reading and then I give them everything and I summarize it, and at the end I might pull a couple of cards for them to just say, so these are the angels or guides you need to work with, or this is a bit of extra messages from Spirit. Because obviously Spirit doesn't always give messages through tarot cards, and especially if you're getting a lot of minor arcana cards, like you're not getting a lot of spiritual lessons, I just get a little bit, okay, what are your angels or what are your guides or what are the gods and goddesses or ascended masters want you to know? And I just do it as a bit of a roundup. So I wouldn't mix them all in at the same time because you could kind of throw yourself a bit with trying to remember everything. I would just do them either at the beginning or the end or both and then use them that way. So I hope, hey Randon, hello my love. I'm going to give your thing a review. I've got to look at your thing. Randon's just finished my 3-month advanced tarot program and I need to go and look at her beautiful Facebook page and I'm going to do a review for it and look at it and what you need to improve. Okay, so Kieran, I don't do reversed cards in this course. It's totally okay to read them if you want to, absolutely. I am going to create a reversals course, hopefully in January. I say hopefully because sometimes my travelling schedule interferes with the whole thing, but hopefully January, February, that's coming out. For now, just consider that if you do reversals, then the card is, what the card means is the unlearnt lesson of the previous card in the hierarchy. I don't mean the cards you've pulled. So if you pull say a 4 of swords, then and it's reversed, that means that the person hasn't learnt the lesson of the Three of Swords. They need to go back and learn the lesson of the Three of Swords. So that's a general basic level of how to read them. I don't do reversals for beginners because I do think you need to be very confident with the cards upright first. That's just my personal opinion. Other teachers will howl me out of town about that one. I have been howled out of town by even students. But for me, that's how I learnt. I learnt doing them upright first because the reversals just spun me out too much and I wasn't learning properly. So first do the upright and get confident at that, and just keep on the lookout of when I post this one in January. Hello. Oh, someone's posted that link. Thank you, Samantha. The Psychic Healing Academy. Yeah, it's just there. It's also just www.psychichealingacademy. You can type that in as well. And the lovely Samantha has put it in. Thank you. Now, someone just asked me another question. I can't see it. That sometimes happens. Oh, Karina, during practice I use myself, but I feel like I'm asking spirit too much. Is that a correct observation? I don't think there's anything too much at all, because you've got to remember when you're working with spirit, is you're looking at the higher realms that know more than we do in our human form. So there's no problem with connecting in with spirit for me and asking spirit. I think that's not a problem. As long as you're doing a lot of protection and you're making sure you're not bringing any dark entities in, I think, and you're asking for just love and light answers that will help yourself or whoever you're reading for, then that's not a problem with turning to that at all. But keep in mind, if you are connecting a lot with spirit, you really need to look after yourself, because that's when you get drained and exhausted and wiped out and you kind of feel like you're on another planet all the time. I spoke about that a bit earlier with psychic wellness, like making sure you're doing lots of different things to ground and protect yourself. But there's no such thing as too much for me. Shannon, thank you for what you... But again, like if you feel yourself starting to get drained, then maybe pull back and stop and just rely on the cards. So over the years for me, there's been occasions where clients come to see me and I've been tired, like I've had a bad night's sleep. And in those kind of circumstances, I just rely on the cards because I don't want to risk getting some kind of fuzzy antenna thing going on. So that would, yeah, so if you feel like you're overwhelmed, then just stick to the cards. So I think I've asked everyone's question. Oh, I think Sneha recently asked about giving a reading for, she was a bit conflicted because someone wanted a reading and their father had just passed away 13 days ago. I would always say with that, and I answered her with that, but I would definitely ask them to wait. And the reason is when you lose someone you love like that and you are shocked and you are stunned, you might not even know why you're getting a reading. I mean, what are you hoping to get out of the reading? I mean, really at the end of the day, it'll be, time heals. Get spiritual wisdom and things like that. People, I know this, my husband lost his father a few years ago and it was just the most heartbreaking thing I've ever watched in my entire life. It was just devastating. And the platitudes of, oh, you'll get over it, time will heal, and, he's in a better place, yes, but you've just got to be careful with people in grief. And I say that with mediumship readings too, like give it some time, give yourself some time. If you need a healing, that's what you should be encouraging people to, go get a massage or a Reiki session or something just to deal with the fight or flight that comes with intense shock and stunned and overwhelm and trying to imagine what it's like living in a world without that person. So I would steer clear of readings in the immediate, at least for the first month or so. And again, if you are going to do a reading for someone in the first few months after the death of a loved one, what is it they want out of the reading? Are they looking for a message from the person who's deceased? Because that doesn't come through the tarot. That's a mediumship session. So it's something that's a little bit different. So I hope that helps, my love. Is there a favourite prayer for you or intention before reading for yourself or client? So I've got loads. So in How to Be Psychic, I share lots and lots in there. I also share them in the Master Health Readings course as well. There's lots in there. But if you want a very basic one, so if you want to look at lots of different protection rituals and blessings and prayers, I do suggest looking at those courses. But if you want a very basic one, you can just call in the love and the light and your guides and angels to give the reading that this person needs for their best and highest good. Like that's a very basic level one. You don't have to overcomplicate it. People often think they have to stand west and wave a candle and stand on one leg and pray to the right God. I say keep it simple. I say, because if you're so busy remembering all of that, it's going to be hard for you to listen to your intuition. So just pray to whoever it is you connect with, your angels, your spirit guides, your gods and goddesses, your ascended masters, for the spiritual wisdom you need to help that person. Like, that's a very basic way of how I start off my readings. I hope that helps. Hello, Margaret. Oh, thank you. It's because you know why I'm looking happy? Because I'm in the sun. Sal is not a winter is coming person. Thank you, Nui, that you love my courses. Margaret, the energy with everything right now is so stressed worldwide. How do we keep it from overtaking our readings? Great question. I do have, Margaret, I'm not sure if you've seen it. I did a thing a few months ago when COVID first hit on my YouTube channel about how to look after ourselves during COVID. So I will post that in here as well, but you can also find that on my YouTube channel. I would just focus on raising your vibration every day. My biggest tips with that is to make sure that you are waking up every day and doing something positive for yourself, instead of waking up every day and turning on the news or turning on Facebook. Wake up every day, do some journaling, do some meditation, go for a walk if you can. Wake up every day, do 5 minutes of breathing in and out, 5 minutes of praying, chanting, anything, but connect with the news or connect with Facebook straight away. If you start your day on a higher vibration, then it will be harder for that stress to come to you because you'll be already radiating. If you forget, that's fine. Sometimes, especially if you've got kids and they come and jump all over you and suddenly that's it, nothing's happening, then take some time out in the day. Just connect and just say, oh, I'm thinking. I love, Eckhart Tolle does a really great little meditation of just literally a couple of minutes of breathing in and out and just feeling your body, feeling how your feet are on the ground, feeling your back, how it's sitting, feeling how it feels like to have your neck holding up, just, feeling and connecting in with your body. That's enough to just disconnect you from the stress of the world. And I've had to do this. It hasn't been easy. There has been quite a few people I've had to unfollow on my Facebook because I just, it's so negative. It's so angry at this politician or angry at that politician, or whether it's conservative or whether it's left wing, it's all anger and venting, and I understand why it's out there. But sometimes it's like, oh, I can't do that right now. And so maybe either unfollow a few people for 30 days or just keep yourself a little bit protected and go, I'm vulnerable today. I don't feel like I'm going to go onto Facebook, or things like that. Little self-love. I hope that helps, my love. Hello, Mantrip. Thank you, Mantrip, for your beautiful review. Samantha, what's the best way to provide someone with a reading live? Or do you get information? Do you do the reading and send them the results? Okay, so live, really the best way is Zoom. So I would I'd look at how to, set up a Zoom account, and you just send them a link and they jump on. In terms of what they need to know, I would always send them a little thing first. So I do this a lot in the 3-month program, by the way. So if you want to know lots and lots of details, I would look, just reach out to me and I can tell you more about that. But in a basic level, a bridged version, what you do is you send them a message or you send them an email and you say, hey, have you had a reading before? Have you had a reading recently, especially? And what is it you'd like to know? Or what is it you need help with? That's just a really great way of getting a base solid ground of that's what I would do with online readings. In first person readings, I tend to sort of not do that. I don't send them an email if they're coming to see me live. But if you're feeling like, oh, I'm not sure, I'm a bit nervous, then just ask them. Say, hey, what kind of reading are you after? And they might say a love reading, a career reading, and that just gives you that idea. So it's up to you. I'm kind of, sometimes I don't ask for more information, sometimes I do. If you're nervous, then just ask. Just say, hi, what kind of reading are you after? And that will let you know. Again, especially because as I've mentioned today, if they're after a help reading and you don't do them, or if they're after a reading, and this is important, they might be after a mediumship reading. They might just have seen that you do readings and think that assumes that you can connect with people who have deceased. Not everyone who reads can. So, getting upfront about what kind of reading they want is fine. You don't have to ask for all the information. You can just ask what kind. If that helps. So if you're doing it live, you can do it at Zoom with them the way I'm doing this now. You can actually just do it so that they're getting the results straight away, Samantha, if you want to do it that way. And if you're doing it by email, you can just email it to them, or by phone, WhatsApp, you can do it that way. Some people I've seen also do it, they actually, which I think is quite good too, is they get the question and then they actually just record it on their phone and WhatsApp it to them. So that person's got a voice recording. So that's another way to do it. Pia, I got 4 courses, they're wonderful. Thank you for putting so much effort in. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Keith, academic questions on the cards. Throw them at me. I read that the Rider-Waite cards was conceived from members of the Golden Dawn. Yes, I do. So I do a lot more of this in the advanced. Sorry, I keep saying the advanced program because it's much more advanced, that stuff. But briefly, yes. So the Golden Dawn had in it many members, but the 2 big main famous members were Aleister Crowley and Arthur Ryder. And the 2 of them together, Arthur Waite. I do that all the time. Arthur Waite. Ryder is the name of the publishing company. Arthur Waite, and he created that deck. Now, they went a little bit their separate ways about certain aspects of the tarot that they disagreed with. First, they started on the same page and they were all buddy-buddy and they agreed, and then they had a little bit of meh, and they went their separate ways and created different decks that had different tweaks. The Thoth deck is a lot more detailed, requires a lot more study than even the Rider-Waite. It goes into so much more depth, like aromatherapy, and much more deeper on cardinal signs and lots more depth. And as those of you who have studied both know, it doesn't have the pages. Instead, it has a prince and a princess and a knight, and the knight is actually the king. So there's all sort of things that are a little bit tweaked and different. But yeah, the Golden Dawn came about in, I hope Trevor Colbert's not watching me. Trevor Colbert's the best expert on the Golden Dawn. He studied it for 30 years. I do suggest reaching out to him. Trev Corbett. He knows so much about it. But my memory is thinking it's the late 1800s going into the early 1900s, so up to about 1910, I feel. That's roundabout. But yeah, that's the period of when they were thriving at their biggest. So that's a very brief thing. The history of it came with Pamela Coleman Smith doing the actual authorship, the picture, the graphics and images, which sadly enough she was never acknowledged for financially, and Arthur did the actual creation of the deck, but it came through that group and their study of the tarot. So I hope that's a brief intro, Keith. As I said, if you're interested in going really in depth in it, I do recommend my more advanced program for that. Yeah, and as Em says, there's tons of information online on the history if you want to go more into it, or any Rachel Pollack's books. Yes, The Wisdom of the Tarot by Rachel Pollack, she is wonderful. April, what do you do when you end up with multiple readings that are the opposite of what actually happens to the clients? Does this mean there's a block, and how do you clear it? So April, I have there can be 10 reasons for this. I have a YouTube video called Cloudy Readings. If you go to my YouTube thing, I'll also post it here. It just totally depends. Like, they could be asked, I had someone recently who asked this question on the Q&A board, and it was such an interesting question. And it was about a marriage situation where someone said to them, what do I need to know about my married life? And they got all these a couple of challenging cards like heartbreak, but also a lot of really positive, and this person interpreted the cards to mean that somewhere down the track, like in 5 years' time, they were going to be stable and they were going to have a great life together. And it turned out it was totally the opposite. And this person had been left by their husband, and the husband had run off and married someone else and taken all their money. And this person who did the reading was shocked and horrified, and they were like, oh my God, how did I get that so wrong? And I said, look, it's not that you got it wrong, it's that the question was wrong. If someone's asking, what do I need to know about my married life? And they're asking about someone who is married to someone else, legally and technically, they're no longer married to that person. So it's you know what I mean? The question becomes obsolete. It confuses the tarot. If they'd asked, what do I need to know about my ex? That would have got different results. So often the opposite can come from definitely the question not being right. It can be coming from the reader having a lot of, blockages, as you said. the reader themselves may have had a traumatic experience in a past life where they predicted something, it came true, and they were punished. So as a result, they automatically set some kind of cellular memory up where they sabotage themselves in their readings. So if that's the case, I would look at doing my past life course, or look at seeing a regressionist, a professional regressionist, and getting a regression and seeing maybe what that could be. So it could be many different things. As I said, look at my cloudy readings thing and see if that makes more clarity, April. But yeah, with how to clear it, the different ways to clear it that I suggest: one, see a professional, so a spiritual healer, as I mentioned. I do have that course on removing your past lives, so removing past lives with, remove psychic blocks with past life therapy, or boosting your psychic gifts with EFT tapping, so releasing those blocks, or, as I said, see a healer. That's the best way I would go about it. Please create a course of meditation to boost up intuitive gifts. So which courses of mine have you done? Because I do have in the Psychic Readings Intermediate level, there is 2 meditations in there that help you boost your psychic gifts more. And what else? I think I've got another one. My brain's just gone totally, can't remember. And this past life one too, there's a regression that you can do that can boost your psychic gifts as well. But I will keep that in mind definitely. But those ones, if you haven't done them already, I can recommend that for that. Margaret, love all these suggestions. Thank you. Definitely check out your YouTube channel. Thank you. It's just Sal Jade YouTube, I think. Replay. No, Ashley, you're live. You're not on the replay. When's the next round of the advanced course? That's a great question, Tez. So I do them every year. I couldn't do it last year, and I'm hoping I can do it next year. They usually run roughly from about March, April to July. They go for 3 months. If you can do it without doing it live, if you want, if that's what you want to do, so you want to study it at your own pace, there is an alternative to do that. Just reach out to me if you want to do it. There's a discounted option for that. Reach out to me at sal@saljade.com and I can show you how to do that if you've missed out this year. So over the years, sometimes people miss out and they still want to do it. So I do have an option for that as well. But it is obviously without the group coaching calls and without some of those extra bonuses of me getting my eyes on your business and that kind of thing, those sessions. Kieran, once I've done reading, I end up feeling mentally exhausted. I even had some health issues. How do I protect myself? Kieran, can I ask, have you done my Master Health Readings course? Because in that, there is literally 3 hours of suggestions of protecting yourself. So I do suggest you do that. I probably couldn't do it justice just in this particular Facebook Live. I go through basically everything that I use to protect myself as a reader. Please don't worry. It's actually really common. And that's for the reason that when we train, often when we do so say you train as a psychic, you will often get exercises built in the live training session. So I deliberately created a whole course on that for you. So you can do that. But if you want to just get started, then definitely black tourmaline is fantastic. I love black tourmaline. Getting out in nature is fabulous. And trying not to do too many readings. Don't feel like you have to do 50 readings in a week. Try to start small. So they're my first 3 suggestions, but if you want to go really deep into healing that and getting that, I do suggest the Master Health Readings and Psychic Wellness, because what might be happening for you is you might be an empath, and this often happens with empaths, if they're very sensitive, you might be giving readings to people and suddenly you're absorbing all their problems, and that might be what be causing the health issues. So I would definitely look at that if you're worried about it. Oh, thank you, Samantha. You are a legend. Thank you for posting my YouTube channel. Hi, April. Yusuf, you randomly woke up at 5 a.m. our time and came here. Wilson, I'm so glad you could be here. Cheers on the history lesson, Keith. Business question: how best to collect money on a remote in-person reading? Half before? No, never do half before. Thank you, Keith. Great question. Always do it up front, okay, with online. It's different if they're coming to your house, for me. So when I do readings in person and people are coming to my house, I actually just, accept the payment after the reading. But if you're doing it online, please get them to pay you up front. That is just the smartest thing to do to protect yourself. I have had people I know, dear friends of mine, who have done an hour and a half reading for someone and that person refused to pay them. Now that's a lot of time. This is someone who's been reading for 20 years, I might add, and she thought, it's fine, they'll pay, and they didn't. So I don't want that happening to you. Collect it up front straight away, definitely. Oh, hi, Adriana, you have to go, but you enjoy the class and the group and the webinar. Bye, my love. Kelly, you're excited. You signed up for my love readings course. You are going to love it. Like, that's my most recent course. And I guess if I have to review myself as a teacher online, because I've been a teacher 17 years now, and the online world has definitely had a learning curve way back when, and now I feel like I'm kind of definitely much better at doing the readings and the samples. So I hope you love it. There's lots and lots in there. Kieran, you haven't, but you'll do it. Yeah, I do recommend if you're feeling those symptoms that perhaps look at that. You might be able to identify some really powerful remedies that you can use to stop that happening. Okay, so, and if anyone else has any questions, pop them in. If I missed your question, remember that it does go really fast. So if I've missed your question, I am sorry. So now there is, a few people have been a bit confused about certificates. So you do get a Sal Jade Certificate of Completion when you finish this tarot course. This can't be used for insurance purposes, by the way. I do what's called certification examination. I sit that live with people when you do my 3-month advanced tarot program, but not with Udemy because they don't allow me to do that. Like, I can't just do a live session with you like this. So I do a formal examination process if you want to do that. But this is just a certificate of completion that you can, it comes from the Psychic Healing Academy. You can use it with your web marketing. You can use it on any of your things to say that you completed it if you want more than just a Udemy certificate. If you want your certificate, then please follow the instructions. It's in the final lectures of your course, How to Get Your Sal Jade Certificate. There's special instructions, very detailed about how to get it. You can't wait to become more sufficient. So, hey, your name is beautiful. Sakara, that is a beautiful name. Oh, thank you, Manichki. So yeah, that's how you can get your brand new Psychic Healing Academy certificates. Once you finish the course, at the final thing, there's detailed instructions about how to get it. Please don't just post in the Q&A board, can I have my certificate? Because that could take a week to get to Kathy. And she does them every Wednesdays. So she's my beautiful assistant that helps me out. Just follow the instructions in that lecture and then you'll get it. Robin, do you think you may ever put out a book we could purchase to go along with your course? I'm a book learner rather than an instruction. It would help a lot. I would love to. Yes, that is definitely on the cards. I don't know when. I'm going to say that in case I don't want my husband to ever see this. He'll probably throw things at me because he thinks I'm already doing too many things all at once. Getting distracted by shiny objects. Yes, I do want to, and I do intend to do a book. It's just I don't know when. I hope that helps. I know what you mean. I'm a bit of a book learner too. Just now added another course of your course on my list. Already doing 4 of them. Awesome, Nui. Awesome. Thank you. I hope you absolutely love them. So that's the good news about the certificates. You can get Psychic Healing Academy certificates. You just need to follow those instructions. What if you feel uncomfortable giving a reading to the person? How do you professionally back out? That's such a great question. Just back out. And I love that you've asked this, Kelly, because for me, there's a bit of a misguided feeling in the world of psychic readings that the client is the person in the power and the control and you just a victim who has to do it for them. And that's not how it is at all. You have full rights to say to someone, I'm sorry, I just don't feel like this is going to be a good reading for you. So that's the polite way to say it. So I don't think I'm the right reader for you. And, I can recommend someone. So I say this in Psychic Readings Intermediate level about, always have a list of other people you know and just say, look, I feel like that person might be better for you, or maybe go on Facebook or maybe have a look somewhere else, but I don't feel like I'm the right reader for you. I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to waste your money. So I've said no to people before. I have adamantly said, in the nicest way, I've said, look, I'm booked up. Or, I don't think I'm going to be the right reader for you. You might be looking for someone better that does these kind of readings. So, but that's how you do it, just diplomatically. And then if you're not, and this is always, I don't ever like to say little white lies, but if you still feel weird by that, then just tell them you're full. Tell them you're busy. You've got to protect yourself. Your intuition is the most important thing in the world. You've got to honour it and you've got to protect yourself. Hello, lovely. I have already just answered that, Anastasia. And thank you so much that you bought all my courses. So Anastasia, you said you bought Psychic Readings Intermediate level. Are you up to the section on when yet? because I do a whole thing, and I've just done earlier here, I've just literally spent 10 minutes talking about the time frames. So if you pop into your Psychic Readings Intermediate level and get the how to deal with when questions, you'll find the answer there. Or if you go back to the beginning of this, say a few minutes in, I also did a big 10-minute spiel on it then. Oh, great question, Giselle. Can anyone read tarot? Yes. I mean, tarot is something you can learn and you can read. The only thing I would say is that you need to practice and be dedicated and committed. So you can't learn it in a weekend. Other readers think you can, but in my experience, you can't. Like, you do need to practice. It is very in-depth and you need to sort of commit to it. But yes, anyone can read tarot cards because they tell a story of humanity's existence. Like, they tell it a bit like, I always say, it's a bit like a Shakespeare play. They have the timeless themes of our human experience. So anyone can learn how to do that. Practicing with your intuition will enhance your readings a lot more, but you don't have to. I hope that helps, my love. Now, Giselle, I was also going to say, if you're brand new, I'll post this in here. I recently, about maybe 3 or 4 months ago, did the 5 biggest mistakes that tarot readers make and how to avoid them seminar that I did in this group. I'll pop that in here, or you can find it on my YouTube channel, and that also goes into answering that kind of question about, you know, do I need a tarot gift? Who learns tarot quicker than others? How can I learn it quicker? So that will help you with that too. Oh, cool, Anastasia, you check it out. Awesome. Okay, so my final, and keep posting questions, guys. So the final thing I want to talk to you about today is something that brings up a lot of emotions for people, and that's understandable, is the situation of posting posting an offer to practice your readings in this group and people not returning the feedback or a testimonial. Now, this has been going on for probably many, many years, and I've tried to come up with many, many solutions. Sometimes they work for a bit and then it all falls apart again. So with a group, and this happens in all Facebook groups, by the way, this is just what happens when people offer free readings. This sort of disconnect and this hostility and this problem can pop up. If you're brand new to the group, please don't freak out, because I just want to prepare you. So basically, I have a feedback template. It's in this group. Just type in #PDF template. You can't edit it, but you can copy it and paste it and make up your own based on what I give you. If you are offering readings in this group to practice or for testimonials, please send it to people before you give the reading. I have found this is severely reduced, and I'm talking 85% reduced instances of people not returning your feedback. So please send it to them. And I'll tell you why, for the basic reason is that when someone sees free reading, I'm offering readings, it's like honey, it's like flies to honey. Everyone jumps on, they're excited, but sometimes they haven't even thought, oh, I have to take time to give feedback for this. They don't even think that, they just see free readings and they jump all over it. So what I suggest you do, if you're offering a free reading in this group to practice, spell out very, 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 very clearly when you want the feedback returned by. Send them this template so that they know they have to work for it, that it is an exchange. They're not just getting a free reading, that actually they have to give you that feedback. Now, the new thing I'm going to talk about that I'm excited to announce, because I hope it's going to stamp out any of this behaviour, is that from now on, it's always been a bit tricky for me, and as I said, we've got nearly 6,000 people in the group, and over the years, some people have sort of angrily demanded that I kick people out of the group if they don't return someone's feedback, which I'm just not willing to do, because something that happened recently was someone wrote me a message and they were very angry. They'd given someone a reading in the group, they were venting, they were furious, they took half an hour to give the reading, and that person hadn't replied to them and hadn't got back to them. And I kind of went in and looked at it, and it had been 3 days. Now, some people don't go on Facebook for a week. Some people might be on holidays. Some people might, at this day and age, have had a relative they love fall sick and they're in hospital, they're worrying or they're beside themselves. So because I have to give people the benefit of the doubt, I'm not going to kick people out of the group because they haven't returned your feedback. So I have to say that. But because I'm very protective of the readers here and I want to make sure that this behaviour isn't happening, I do have a system that I'm setting up now. I'm going to be creating a new lecture and updating it for any new people in the group. I do recommend that you look at it. I'll post notifications in here about how it's going to work. So basically, If you offer a reading, and I've said this a lot too, please don't say I'm willing to do 10 readings or 50 readings. Just say 3 to 5. Wait for the feedback and then try again, okay? Please, and I tell you that because you'll get very demoralised if you go out and do 20 readings and only 3 people get back to you. Much better to start small. Then, as I said, as soon as you say that, send the person the feedback when you PM them. So here's the feedback template, please read it. Put a secret code word in there so you know they've read it. This is a trick I learned from Upwork. So Upwork, for some of you who don't know, is it's a freelancing company where you post jobs and job advertisements. And to stop everyone just applying for the job without actually reading what's in the job so that you're not wasting your time looking through lots of people that aren't qualified, you put a secret code word in there that they have to find so that you know they've read it properly. So I suggest doing that because you want to be only attracting people that are going to take you seriously and that are going to give you the feedback. Now, if you've sent that thing to them and you've given them the reading and you've sent them and then say 3 or 4 days has passed and they haven't got back to you, then within 2 weeks, send an email to Kathy at team@saljade.com and she's going to have a list. So I've got a watch list. I've already got one going. But what I will do is once a month, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to tag every single one of those people and say, hi, just a gentle and loving reminder that your feedback to such and such is now due. Could you please get in contact with them and give them the feedback? And then, number one, that helps you see people that maybe are not honouring the feedback. 2, it means that if I've had to do that 3 times for someone, then I will politely ask them to leave the group, basically. So that's the way I'm going to get around this because I do know it's a problem and I do want to address it, but I'm also not willing to be a police officer. I'm not willing to go in and humiliate people and come after them and kick them out of the group, and because I don't know what's going on in their lives. Like, yes, sometimes there are people that take advantage of people, but sometimes there are also people that have got really tough things going on in their lives right now, and I don't want to come after them and, remove what could be a source of comfort for them. So that's how I'm going to manage that. But please get this thing there. And plus, thank you, Samantha. It's going to be very time consuming for me to go through every single person and kick them out of the group. That is, I'm not comfortable with that at all. So please, if someone hasn't got their feedback back to you, you sent them the template before the reading, not after, before they haven't got back to you with any feedback, then please reach out to me after 14 days. Wait 14 days, let me know, and once a month I'll be tagging people. Oh, Randon, my first reading still hasn't even looked at my message of my reading. Randon, I so hear you. And I often tell this story of the first time I offered free readings and I offered 10. And I've been doing it for years by this stage and being paid for it. But I did it to boost my profile and 3 people out of the 10 even thanked me. So I get you. I get it. That's why you've got to protect yourself, definitely. And they haven't even lesson learned. Yes. So I hope that helps in understanding the new system. So rather than post in this group, I'm so angry and I'm so annoyed at all the people that haven't got back to me, please don't do that because it just fires everybody up and not everybody knows the history. And sometimes I see people doing that and I notice they haven't even sent the feedback template. They just, so just send the template first. Be clear in your communication. I want to do 3 to 5 readings. PM me. Don't comment below. PM me and I will get back to you within 3 days and I want my feedback within 3 days, something like that. So I hope that helps, my loves. Now, Robin, how long do you think a reading should go for? That's a good question. It would depend on the question. Obviously some people in phone line readings, it's a 15-minute reading, it's a quick insight. It really depends on like how deep someone wants to go. Say for example, they were asking a career question, like what do I need to know about finding a new job, a new career? I would never do a 15-minute reading on that because that's going to require some in-depth, that's something that's their whole life, their career. But if it's something simple like, what do I need to know about moving house? Then that could be a 15-minute reading because you don't need half an hour for cards to tell you about moving house. So it would depend on the question. If you feel that your readings are too short, then start to do more. You can also add other questions in. You can say, look, is there anything else you want to know? And add that to it. And sometimes a reading doesn't need to be long. So keep that in mind. Or would you like any messages or anything else to come through? So that's what I would do to expand upon it. Yes, Jazz, that's very true. Sometimes Facebook messages do get put to another mailbox if you're not friends with that person on Facebook. If that's the case and you're worried, then ask them to email you. I know people get confused. Why does Sal not let us comment below? First thing, it clogs up the feed. Having 75 people say, yes, please, I want a reading, means that if someone's coming in here and they're trying to learn tarot and they're posting their beautiful interpretations and they want feedback and it's being dominated by people saying, yes, please, give me a free reading, I want a free reading, I'm interested in a free reading, then for me, that's really not teaching anyone. I mean, this is a study group, basically. I want you to learn. No one's learning anything from getting a free reading. Like, that's not, the person who's giving it's learning, but the 75 people who are commenting yes please, that just clogs the feed, makes it harder for others to get their feed seen when they want feedback on their readings. With posting and they're asking a question and they want people to help them, like, hi, I got this card, I don't know what it means. Like, those things get drowned out by the free reading posts. So that's why I say please don't put comment below. Also, I'm really not a fan of, the reason I don't like people posting their pictures or personal information is privacy. Like, there's nearly 6,000 people in this group, but I don't know every person and I can't vouch for their character that they're not going to take something that's posted publicly and use it against you. And again, I don't want us to live in fear, but just keep that in mind. I have just gone through last year an election where 4 people who were running in our country's national election had to leave because had to drop out of the race after the hundreds of thousands of dollars they'd invested in their election campaign because of things they'd posted in social media groups and on their profiles. So that's another reason I think it's not a good idea to post public information. One-on-one is best. And the third thing is also, it just means, like, it can get lost. It gets lost in the whole thing. So it's better just to, if you don't want to use Facebook Messenger, that's fine. Just ask them to email you. Nicole, every time I do readings for the group, I do 3 card readings and sometimes 4 or 5 cards with a theme card and a card for spiritual guidance. Is that too much? Not at all. Like, if that feels right, that's fine. I mean, I would never do an hour-long free reading for someone, like if I were in this kind of group or situation. I think that's totally fine. That's perfect. There's not a problem with that at all. Okay, my love. So I think that's everything. So just to recap, if you've only just joined me, what we spoke about today was about, should I do health readings? If you are going to do health readings, how to go about it so that you are protected. We talked about psychic protection, how to get more psychic protection if you're feeling overwhelmed or you feel like you're absorbing everybody's problems or having other problems. We talked about love readings, though, when will I meet my soulmate? When will I get married? And some advice I gave about how to look at maybe doing a more intermediate version of this course, the love readings course, because I go deep into that. We looked at the when question and how to try to get your clients to focus on what they need to know as the most important answer, because the example I gave, if the answer to their question is 18 years ago, you might totally throw them, and there might be things that they could do to speed that along, healings they could get, things they could do if they want to get married, they could, and it's in their destiny, it could happen quicker. So, and also the power of intuition, so practicing your intuition. Great question, Samantha. Should you get insurance as a reader? Now, every country is different, so I can't advise you on that. I don't know what the legal system is like in India. I can only really advise, so for me, if you're going to be giving professional readings and you're giving a lot of readings and you're setting up a business, then insurance against public liability is a good idea, is my answer. But I can't speak for country to country because every country has different laws. Like, some countries you might not even be able to get insurance. So keep that in mind. Robin, hey, sweetie, Robin, you can stay in this group. You don't have to, as a membership group, you can stay in this group. Just because you finish the course doesn't mean that you have to leave the group. So there's people that have been here for 5 years. So you can still definitely stay connected. So I don't need to set up another membership group, if that makes sense. However, I do have in my advanced VIP program, I have a VIP group. So if you want to know more about that, just reach out to me about that. So, Nicole, the best way to learn, I am going to do a reversals course, I'm hoping January. The best way to learn reversals is to consider that it is the lesson unlearnt from the previous card. So what I mean by that is the previous card as it appears in the hierarchy of the deck. So if it's the Magician and it's reversed, it means you haven't learnt the lesson of the Fool, basically. So whatever the prior card is. But I'll be doing a reversal course later. Yay! Okay, so yeah, again, guys, you have lifetime access to the course and the group. That is not a problem at all. So if I have missed your question, I do apologise. The reason might be is because you're not live, but if I have, I'm just trying to, I don't think I have. I think I got everyone. Okay, so another bit of exciting news that I've saved to the very end, so thank you for your patience, is my Black Friday course that is coming out in the Black Friday period will be on career readings. So I'm going to focus the whole course on life purpose and career readings. I'm very excited about it. And I'm going to be running a competition. So I did this with Psychic Readings Intermediate level. I'm going to run a competition where I'm going to do a reading for someone. So an actual career reading that I will record live and that will go into the course. So keep posted for that. I'm going to do more announcements about that. Leslie, you miss our VIP group, I know. We're still there, you don't have to miss us, we're still there. But yes, it's easy to miss the coaching calls because we get so connected in those small intimate groups. Thank you, Keith. Thank you so much for your great questions. Thank you, everyone. So yeah, I will be running a competition where you can win a live free reading that I'll be doing for you as part of the course, and I'll keep you all posted on that. So thanks again so much for coming along, and thank you again everyone who's posted reviews of the course. I really appreciate it. And if you think of any other questions, just pop in here, #replay, and pop the question. Mwah. Thanks so much and enjoy the rest of your week and your weekend. Bye. Oops, now I can't figure out how to log out. Oh, I know now. There.